Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I am your host Evan Teague, and with me like always is Noah Bailey. So there's been a lot of crazy stuff happening, just period, this year. But in the midst of all of this, I feel it's important that we just kind of sit down and just really think about the fact that probably the craziest thing ever that's happened, let alone in 2020, is the fact that the Snyder Cut is still real. That actually happened.
Was not ready for that. You start off so you start hearing the building music, this has been a crazy year, but I will not stand for the Snyder Cut being released. Oh my goodness! But yeah, I'm still shocked. As we were recording, this is never gonna happen.
Like 30 minutes later, we're not gonna happen. And then half an hour later, no, it's happening.
He was like, Google it. I'm like, why? It's not gonna. Oh my gosh! Oh, apparently it's happening.
Apparently it's happening.
Yeah.
So,
will it be amazing?
There's evidence pointing both ways, but more. Well, I'll get into that in just a second.
Okay.
So, at the very end of our last podcast, we, had a live reaction of just being dumbfounded at the fact that this thing that wasn't supposed to happen actually happened. And since then, there's been some new details about what all the Snyder Cut will entail. First off, it's been reported. Originally, it was reported that Warner Brothers was committing 20 to 30 million for VFX and new VO for this project.
Whoa.
Then a couple of days later, one executive in an interview, when asked about how much it'll cost, he was like, "Oh, buddy, I wish it was only 30 million." So it'll be at least 30 plus million for new special effects and stuff, which is crazy. Because this was already a $300 million movie that bombed?
Yeah. And they're going, and my thing is they're adding all these new effects. They're supposedly, I've been hearing they're getting actors back, but
the actors are returning for to do new voiceover for their characters, but they're apparently, as of right now, not coming back to actually act any new scenes out, just voicing stuff.
Which, yeah, this is going to be interesting because, the stuff with Henry Cavill, and also, Ezra Miller had some, shady stuff recently, and, so, I don't know how that's going to go. And, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll throw something together.
Honestly, that's not too surprising that they would only get them for VO since, 80% of that movie was already CG anyway. So,
that is true.
And as we know, from recent Disney adventures, CGing people, if they had to, isn't the most difficult thing. Yeah, like I was saying, CGing people, you can usually tell that a person in Rogue One, you could tell that Peter Cushing was a CG person, but at first glance, I literally thought it was just someone who looked just like him. So if they needed to CG these people and then get their voice later, it's possible. With 30 plus million budget, I think it's possible.
Yeah. And also, depending on how trained, I guess, you are with CG and effects of people, because I remember the first time I saw a lot of CG people, I didn't even realize it until somebody else pointed it out. So we'll see. It'll probably be hard, and especially for certain characters, it'll probably be easier to CG them than others, but we'll see.
Yeah, there's also a quite large number of deleted scenes that were on the DVD that weren't, in the actual movie. The entire sequence that introduced the Flash. There's an entire sequence with Cyborg when he said you should probably move from the trailers, as it wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
Actually, there was hardly any cyborg scenes in the entire movie. Now that I think about it, that football scene wasn't there either.
No.
So yeah, they could take from that. They'll maybe direct new because apparently there's going to be entirely new scenes made and directed by Snyder. So it's
Oh
just,
boy.
I don't know how he's going to do it all, especially now, since we're still in quarantine. But,
Yeah, true. But I guess since the voiceover, it's not that hard to do because I feel like you can do that like you can probably do that remotely. I think
yeah, I don't.
maybe
Just the
I
fact that
don't
this
know.
movie exists, period, is a miracle. So they'll
This is
figure it
true.
out.
Yeah, because has anything like this ever happened before? Like a movie's getting like re-released, but like not like a extended edition, more like a kind of a remake, but not
um,
really. I don't know. I'm not even sure
let
what
me
to
think.
call this.
The closest thing might be Blade Runner, where there's like 3 or 4 different edits of that movie where one the original edit and then there's another edit that has like Henry Ford basically monologuing through the entire thing and it's really distracting.
Hmm.
There's another one that has I think there's another one that has a completely different, or at least like added ending or something like completely different towards the end of it. And then there's like another one that's like a mixture of like it. That movie is weird. I like it, but it's weird. There might be other examples like that elsewhere, but that's like the main one I can think of. That were like the director like really wanted this specific vision and like he was able to do it, you know. I guess, but nothing to this scale where a company is willing to pump 30 million extra dollars into a $300 million movie that only made 650 million.
Yeah, I mean,
That's insane.
yeah. So, but it's getting re-released, so I guess they're really hoping that it
On
like.
streaming. Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, it's so that's actually another little wrinkle. It's only being released on HBO Max. But the way it's being released is actually up in the air. It's rumored that as of right now, it's going to be a 4-hour movie. And it's apparently going to be episodic, where it's going to be split into 6 40-minute episodes.
That sounds horrible.
It's working for Final Fantasy VII.
I mean, yeah, but that's different.
It is, I
That is
know.
very different. Like, what? But it's a movie.
It's
Like,
one thing, like, so like the average movie nowadays is about 2 hours.
yeah,
So, what was that, 120 minutes? You wanted to split that 120 minutes into 3 40-minute episodes. In general, that you could easily get like, first act, second act, third act each episode.
yeah.
But I just don't know how you split a 4-hour movie, which theoretically still fits a very similar 3-act structure, or maybe even 5-act structure, like some Marvel movies have. That still doesn't really facilitate a 6-part series of a movie. It's still a movie, but you're releasing it as a show. Will just the actions be cut off? Like, will you have to? That there's a lot of logistics there that don't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very. I don't know. I don't like that idea. I'll admit. I mean, again, maybe they're trying. I mean, because my thing is like, if you make it episodic, it kind of ruins the flow of a movie. It's not designed to be that way. And I mean, maybe they'll adjust it so that it kind of feels more. Each episode kind of feels like it's. But my thing is like, it's not a standalone kind of thing, you know.
But also,
Which.
the main reason this movie exists in the first place is because Zack Snyder wanted to complete his mission to its, logical extreme of like, he didn't get to finish the movie in the first place, and now with hindsight, he's able to like kind of maybe rein in his vision and like make it even better based on backlash from this movie, from the original Justice League. And I feel like that's the only reason why Warner Brothers is even allowing this, because he has such a strong vision. But releasing it episodic would then hinder that vision.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not. I hope that's more a rumor than actually gonna happen. Because again, not I wasn't the first in line for this by any means, but I feel like that kind of that probably would ruin it for me.
That
I feel like a lot of people it would. Like,
as long as they have it where after all 6 episodes come out, they then at least have an option where you can watch them, as a movie.
mhm.
But that's still, why not just release it as a movie?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that kind of just defeats the whole purpose. It's not a series. It's not like a documentary or a series. It's just a movie. It's not a which I mean, like, maybe they're trying to go after because these other shows that are doing that, but it's like those are shows. So each
Yeah.
episode is its own thing. That's not a movie.
So there could be 2 reasons why they're doing this. A, it worked for Clone Wars. Essentially, the Battle of Mandalore or whatever.
Yeah,
That arc basically was a 2-hour movie split into 4 parts.
yeah,
And it worked just fine as 4 individual episodes, but like they led into each other perfectly. So they're like, it worked for that, even though that wasn't originally a movie. It was originally made out of a show that incorporated that element, but whatever. or they're splitting it into 6 parts in order to ensure that fanboys who need this movie to exist sign up for at least 2 months of HBO Max.
that's what it is. Because they know. Well, let's see. Well, what's gonna happen is they're just gonna wait till it's over, and then
Yeah, that's what I'm
because
gonna
then
do.
they wouldn't do that because then it's gonna get spoiled on Twitter and social
It's
media.
just, it's like, they're
Wait,
okay. It's one thing for like Endgame or Infinity War to be spoiled because that's actually a big deal. This is the first Justice League outing. The ending's not gonna be different. Like unless he actually changes the movie to fit the original vision of this being a 3-part Justice League saga, which is I don't think that's gonna happen.
no, but I don't know. I mean, because there's supposedly. I mean, you're adding an hour and a half, so there's supposedly probably a whole nother arc to this movie at the end.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know, man. Like,
He easily could end this movie on a cliffhanger and then like essentially force Warner Brothers' hand because fanboys will then demand Snyder Cut season 2 or
that would
whatever.
be that would be smart. Keep him, keep him. Yeah, you would write it to the point where it keeps him in charge. If the fanboys love it, and yeah, he could start, and maybe that could be their way to kind of like build off of something, a foundation. But even though
Building off of the foundation of a movie that was released episodically on a streaming service, that doesn't make sense.
no, it doesn't. But doing this at all doesn't make. I mean, making the Snyder Cut in general doesn't make sense. So logic isn't really the point anymore.
Yeah. Like, there's been so much stuff teased by Snyder about Darkseid being a bigger, like, essentially, from what we can tell. Remember that scene when the flashback scene when Steppenwolf first like came and like the 5 different races or whatever like fought him off. Apparently, that's going to be Darkseid now. Cause sure, why not?
Okay.
And then he might show up later as well. Remember the Black Army guy from Man of Steel? He's apparently Martian Manhunter. Sure, why not?
Okay.
I feel bad. I feel like Superman should have known that. Like he should have been able to sense that in Man of Steel, but they hadn't thought that far enough. I guess I don't know.
Just throwing that together, I guess. They're
The
probably
Green
gonna make
Lanterns are going to be more of a
Yeah.
big deal. Like it's just it's going to be a completely different movie. So I just.
Which
Maybe it's
I
a
mean,
good thing. I don't know.
I don't know. And also, it's too early to tell. I mean, the fanboys are really excited about it. I'm kind of just like, well, we'll see. But I wouldn't hold my breath yet.
I'm a little a part of me is excited for this movie to exist just to see if it was worth it. If it was worth all these fanboys hounding Warner Brothers, hounding DC every single time they post anything on Twitter or Facebook. Nothing but release the Snyder Cut hashtags.
Every
Even
time.
on wholesome stuff, wishing people happy birthday. Like this isn't the time. This isn't like in like really serious stuff that's happening in the world. Like constantly, it that's the thing with Twitter in general. Like, for example, anytime the Pokemon company releases any kind of information, like any just like Pokemon of the Day post type thing, or even more serious stuff like they have recently, there's always 6 different people in the comment section demanding like changes to the Pokemon formula, or like change, like release the national dex or whatever. I'm like, shut up. Shut up. You're not helping. This isn't the time or place for that. But
No.
that's just how Twitter is, and I hate it, but whatever.
I have no idea. And honestly, I mean, that's kind of just how it's like. I don't like the Snyder Cut. Like, the thing is, they want this so bad that even if it's bad again, they're gonna say it's even better.
They like BVS, so you already know they're gonna think.
That's what I'm saying. They're like, despite their opinions being misguided at best.
At best.
It's not gonna, like, they're gonna be like, yes, this is amazing. Oh, this is the greatest movie ever. And really, it's just a longer version of a movie we still don't like. Mm-hmm. But
I think he will cut out almost all of the Joss Whedon stuff that was added, a lot of the awkward jokes, a lot of the just kind of seemingly, and honestly, in the Joss Whedon version of that movie, Batman didn't really get to do much at all.
No, he was kind of just there. He sold jokes, which was weird.
He took forever to take down one parademon. I'm like, Batman's obviously not a superhero, but these parademons, they're not that big of a deal. Like, in the show, he can just like throw a battering and they explode instantly. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Batman should actually be able to kill a parademon, not a person.
That should honestly have been his role in that movie, while the other 4 or 5, however many at the time, are fighting Steppenwolf or Darkseid or whoever. Batman's over there doing bug control. Like, that just kind of makes sense.
Right? But
I don't know.
He has to make jokes.
I do think that they're gonna, in the Snyder Cut, they're gonna completely rework how Superman comes back to life.
Yeah.
Because in the one we got, it just kind of happened. Even though it was already established that Wonder Woman and Aquaman together were pretty much a match for Steppenwolf. They didn't really need help. They just kind of decided they lost, even though
not really.
Not really.
Also, like, wasn't Superman kind of already alive? Because at the end of BVS, so, like, did they even really need to do anything? Couldn't they? That's what I was thinking. I was like, so what did you do? Like, I don't understand. What was the point
of resurrecting him if it was already teased that his soul was at least in there?
Right.
I think they're gonna go heavy into the whole, because I know in New 52 when Darkseid comes back, he like takes control of Superman or something like that. So they'll probably have a similar outcome of Superman comes back and he's crazy or evil or whatever, but it'll actually make sense now, as opposed to just saying when you die something changes in you and now he's crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of like it looked like something out of the Lazarus Pit, like when you come back and you're just randomly crazy for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Which actually that could have worked. Since he wasn't actually dead, that could have worked. Anyway.
Reads one comic book, already has a better idea.
Yeah. Anyway, that's coming next year. We'll see what form it takes. We'll see if we see it. I don't know. So, time to see what Disney is up to now. So, you liked Kingdom Hearts, right?
The newest one, I was disappointed, but it's fine.
Are you aware that there is a rumor that a Kingdom Hearts show is coming to Disney Plus?
Yeah. Look, I am, like, there is cautiously optimistic, and then there's, like, please don't do that. Like, I am kind of just like, this is not a good idea. I do not like this.
A show based on a game that you, at least, franchise you used to love, you
I
don't
still
want.
love it. I was disappointed by the third game.
Uh-huh.
I still love it though. I honestly think they're doing this show to try to make a fourth game because it's not going to end. But I no, I don't like this idea at all. And even though it's Disney, and even though Disney is great at making things, and even though they obviously have all the characters and the rights to all their own characters, I'm still like, this sounds like a train wreck waiting to happen.
I think the weirdest part about this rumor is that part of the rumor was that Square Enix came to Disney with essentially a pilot made in the Unreal Engine, which is what Kingdom Hearts 3 was made in. And we're like, okay, great, we'll make a CG show for you using that engine. Like, it works. It looks like it works. And then, which that's fine. That makes perfect sense. But then the weird part was that the rumor states that Disney is currently casting for it. You're currently casting for a CG show
that you already have voice actors for.
Especially since most of the voice actors in the game that the show is based on have played these characters for decades.
Yep.
Like, the same person that plays Alice in Alice in Wonderland is still playing Alice. Like, that is, or if she hadn't, is she still alive? I think she is. I know, like, as far as like Dream Job Distance, I think she came back for that at least. Like, so she.
But pretty much as good as it gets in
like,
terms
all the
of, like,
people in the '90s movies are still voicing their characters. Like, oh crap, what is the main guy? Who plays Sora? Like, Haley Joel Osment. Yeah. You have Haley Joel Osment there, like.
Yeah. And you got everyone else, and like Willa Holland, who plays Thea, actually plays Aqua, and like all these. There's like like you have you just made the game, like you have everyone there still. Like, what are we doing here? Like,
if you wanted to add new worlds or go to different timelines, whatever, like all the. You still have all your movies, like you can still just pull voice actors from. Like,
I'm saying, like, if we want to go to somewhere we didn't go, I thought we were gonna
Pocahontas? You been to Pocahontas yet?
Pocahontas? No, I don't think so. Pocahontas could be a good one. We go Princess and the Frog, maybe. I don't even know. Like, who knows? Like, you can do whatever you want. I still want them to do Star Wars. Can just do a New Hope. Like, they could do a New Hope. It'd be great. Like, it would work. You don't have to do all of them. Just do one movie, though.
That's actually one thing about this Kingdom Hearts show that maybe could be potentially exciting. Like, maybe they don't want to go into more. Maybe there are certain movies or franchises they don't really want to delve into in the games, but like through a show, they could have the opportunity to explore that.
Yeah. But honestly, I mean, live action, just no.
Oh, it's not going to be. It can't be live action, right?
No,
it can't.
No. But that's the trend now, and that's what worries me.
My biggest fear is that since the rumors that they're currently casting, my biggest fear is that just like with the new Scooby-Doo movie, how these people have been playing these characters for decades. Frank Welker has been Fred for 40. No. 52 years.
I want to say it's been longer than that.
This guy has played this character, and you just replace him with Zac Efron? What is wrong with you?
I know Zac Efron was even like, "Are you sure about this? Like, I don't know if I can do this." Like,
Grey Griffin, one of the best voice actresses on the planet, and you just replace her with some random famous person. Like, what are you doing?
I really don't like that, because it's like, I mean, like, I understand you're trying to get new people, but it's like, there's an iconic voice to like I don't even like Scooby-Doo, but even I was like, that does not sound like the characters at all.
Like, all these people have been playing the characters throughout our entire childhood, and and when you finally make a new CG movie, you replace them with people who are just famous. Like, that's
for no reason. I guess some people like. I mean, I do kind of like it when I can recognize voices of other people, like famous people and stuff. But like, that's like not for Scooby-Doo.
Yeah,
that's the most iconic.
Awesome hearing Daphne, like, oh cool, Azula's in this. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, but it's like, you just it's so weird to think about.
Yeah. So, yeah, just like they did with Scooby, with the new Scoob movie, where they just replace all these iconic voices with random celebrities, I fear that they're going to do something similar with Kingdom
They
Hearts.
do that because like it's weird enough that like between the different Kingdom Hearts games, like Sora's voice changes and like
right, because in Dream Job they didn't get Haley Joel Osment, did they?
Yeah. No, that's like the only one, and then they immediately were like, "That was a terrible idea," because they wanted because they like go back in time, and he didn't have like the kiddie voice as much, so they wanted to try to get another kid, and then it was terrible, and everyone was like, "I hate this," but it's weird because I like the Kingdom Hearts 2 voice, and the Kingdom Hearts 3 voice just throws me off. I just don't like it.
He's older. I mean,
yeah, I know, but I know that's what they're trying to do, and I respect that, but also I just didn't like it. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I just didn't like all of it. But anyway, but no, it's like why you have the whole cast already, and and that's what worries me. Like I feel like they're casting. Like, what if they're trying to do live action?
Which would be especially weird considering it's already made in the Unreal Engine. All the assets are already there.
I know.
Like there are other shows and stuff, like some like web series that are made in Unreal, so it's very easy to make cartoon shows in Unreal. So
especially if you're already using it, like just go for it. Like, and that would actually be really interesting. I'd actually really enjoy that because one, it would probably fill in a lot of missing holes. Although I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want them to like, start anything over or anything. I don't want them to like just have game movies again. I want it to be newer stuff, but we'll see.
I mean, also maybe this show would allow them time to just kind of explain stuff.
Yes, because I've been playing Kingdom Hearts for I don't even know how many. How old am I? Like 15 years probably, maybe. And I still don't know half the stuff that's going on, and that's a lot because like most of the stuff you just got to go with it. You're just like, okay, that's what happened. Sure, that's fine. And then like 2 games later, oh, actually, that's not what happened. Why? Because like I understand you can make up rules, but you gotta once you make them up, you gotta stick with them. Like you can't break your own rules.
Like why not? It's one thing to like retcon. It's one thing to retcon something, and it's another thing to have new information, like change something that was like it's possible for a show or movie or series or something to give you new information that changes something you thought you already knew without it being a retcon. But it seems like all the stuff they do at Kingdom Hearts is just retconning stuff.
That's what I'm saying. But it's like it's not even. It's just annoying. Like it's not even like, oh no, actually this is what happened. There's like, oh no, this instead. And you're just like, but we already explained. It's because you like in Kingdom Hearts 1, you think the bad guy's one person, but really it's someone else. Which is like, okay, you just learn more things. It's different.
Yeah.
But now when you're like, oh yeah, this thing that's been a whole rule, this is what happens the entire game series. This doesn't happen anymore. And you're just like, why? That's been my whole basis for. Again, none of the stuff is real, so I can't be like, that's not how it works. But at the same time, it's like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how, like, in Star Wars with the Force, you're like, you can't do that with the Force, which, again, the Force is not real.
Works, you can't but it does, though. But it's made up, so who cares? Like,
right? It's like...
Yeah, I am all for just random new Force powers. Like, the Force is just, the Force. It can do whatever the heck it wants, as long as what the Force does fits what's going on screen. And like if it doesn't, essentially, my problem with some new Force powers, it's like if you could have just done that, 10 minutes ago, that would have really helped. or sometimes I don't know, like a lot of stuff that is just they add stuff just to make these characters feel more powerful when like they're already. I feel like the level was already capped with Yoda and Mace Windu. Like you didn't need to go higher than that, but then just random new other stuff just because like okay, fine, whatever. It is what it is.
But, yeah, it is, and I don't know. It's interesting, but Hearts is just kind of like. because it's already a super complicated story. So when you just make it more complicated just because, it's just like it almost makes me lose interest. Because
Yeah.
it's like, it's like, all right, this whole time this was actually the bad guy, but really this is the bad guy, but really, actually, this guy who's not even the bad guy is really the bad guy.
What?
But you don't know that yet, and you're just like, why? Because there had to be like, why can't it just be over? Why can't we just finally be the bad guy? Because it's never over.
And
Because
stuff like that kind of lends itself to like the bad show climax where a show can be great up to a certain point, but then a show might not realize they're gonna end, or like they kind of got too ambitious, and then they have like 3 episodes to finish everything. So then they just kind of like rush, and then by the time
yeah,
it ends, it doesn't really feel super fulfilling.
yeah,
Kingdom
that's how
Hearts
Kingdom
3.
Hearts feels. The pacing, Kingdom Hearts 3 feels like the pacing is atrocious. Like,
You had 3 years, you had 3 games to make this entire story, and then a 50-hour experience with Kingdom Hearts 3, and then like the last 5 they just cram stuff down your throat.
yeah, I remember the first like 25, 30 hours, you get nothing in terms of like story or like, nothing, like only Disney Worlds, just no new information. And then after you finish the last Disney World, all right, let's do everything right now.
Sure.
Let's get this character back. Let's say, let's bring this person back to life. Now let's go over here. Now we got to bring this person. Oh, you're ready to train. Let's go. And then all this stuff happens. Okay, go be the bad guy right now. I'm just like,
Yep.
but couldn't we have like spaced this out and like talked about this some? We could
Again,
get those moments. Like
a heavy Star Wars analogy. Episode 9. Anyway.
the entire Star Wars. It's just like none
You
of
had all
this.
the opportunities to set stuff up. You had all these opportunities to, either introduce new elements or new characters or new whatever. And then episode 9 came and was like, none of that matters. This is our thing now. And then half a movie
Yep.
goes by, like, oh, we need to go. We need to finish this. This series is ending right now. What? Why you didn't do? Okay.
Yeah,
It's over.
and that's how it is. It's like we're just going, like you're just going to Disney World because the game tells you to.
Yeah.
There's no actual reason. You're not looking for anything. You need to discover this power, but literally you don't even get the power till after you already finish everything. You didn't actually learn anything. I'm just like, so we just messed around for 30 hours for no reason. But nah, it's okay.
So yeah,
It can't
maybe
hurt
that
me
show will be
anymore.
good if it actually happens. Again, this is all a rumor right now, but if it actually happens, and if they keep the same voice actors, and if it is CG, it has potential.
Yeah, but yeah, please make it CG. If it's live action, I don't even care. I'm not watching it.
Something else that has potential, that WandaVision show that's coming?
Mm-hmm.
So, Evan Peters, the guy that played Quicksilver in the X-Men series, has been cast to play a mystery role. It could be nothing. But let's assume he's playing Quicksilver.
It can't be nothing. But let's jump to all the conclusions.
he's playing Quicksilver.
It's definitely something. I mean, it could be like, maybe this leads to the multiverse of madness, but it could be he goes to the parallel Marvel universe,
Yeah.
gets the version of Pietro and brings him back because she misses her brother, and then that could cause a whole chain reaction, and you just start coming out, or who knows?
Like, this show will delve way deeper into her reality bending abilities. So, like, maybe at some point through the show, she realizes, like, in this one reality she creates, like, I have Vision as my husband or whatever. I have a family. I don't have to worry about anything anymore. This is my perfect reality, but it's not perfect because my brother isn't with me. And then, like, he tries to create, he tries to bring him back to life and accidentally summons Quicksilver from a different dimension, and then that messes everything. Like, that would be so cool.
Imagine that as like a first episode. Like, she tries to brings back from another multiverse, and then the world just explodes. Like, you don't even know what's going on. Like, that'd be so cool.
Or even like a season.
Like
I think there's like 6 or 8 episodes of the show. Like, the end of episode 8 of that show, he comes and it's like, oh, what what is this? And then that leads into Multiverse of Madness. Like she goes to Doctor Strange is like, hey buddy, I need your help.
Like, so you like magic, right? It's just like, what did
thing.
you do?
I got this guy here that he's from a different dimension. He's my brother, but not my brother. So we need to either get him back to the other dimension, or dimensions are
Figure
collapsing on
something
each other.
out,
My
or-
bad.
yeah.
Didn't mean to, but
It's like, what are we gonna do?
again, he could just be playing some random character. But it
But I
seems
think we
too
both know.
easy. It's too obvious. Like this, this is such a cool way to introduce, a natural way to introduce, new random X-Men, and you also kind of use that to explain why some X-Men look different, some look the same, because different multiverses. He is just happened to be from the Fox universe, but then maybe him existing just kind of creates the mutant gene and the rest of the. I don't know, like just go for it.
They could just, I mean, but that's the thing. Like, it's already messed up, so you could just roll with it. And honestly, that's probably what they'll do. They'll use Doctor Strange too as the way to have mutants just appear in the world, and then that'll lead up to the X-Men, and go from there.
And I know Scott Derrickson, I think that's his name, left the project because Disney and Marvel were asking him to just add all this random stuff into Doctor Strange 2. But if it makes sense, if it makes complete sense for this to be the movie to explain how these characters who don't exist in this world to then exist in this world. So.
That's why I love comics. You can, yes, comics you can kind of just make stuff up, but you can do it well.
Yeah. Yeah. And as long as, I'm blanking on his name. Sam Raimi. As long as Sam Raimi's okay with it, it can still be his movie, but you have to incorporate that in a way that makes sense.
Right, and I think they can do that too.
Yeah.
He can teach her, make her a better with her powers, but also try to help fix reality in the multiverse.
Yeah. Speaking of characters from different dimensions, J.K. Simmons has officially signed on for multiple Spider-Man sequels.
Yeah!
So whether that means he'll be J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man 3 and or Venom 2 or any other Sony project, he'll be around, which is fantastic.
Give me a Jameson movie and an Avengers movie, I'm all for it, dude.
It was a Jameson movie.
Anything. Anything. I don't even care. Give him his own movie.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they're gonna have? Do you think they're gonna have Peter work at the Daily Bugle at all, or maybe how they kind of did with Spider-Man? Do you think maybe Mary Jane might work there?
Or
MJ or Michelle or whatever.
I think
or is that going to be too much?
Is really something in this universe. I don't really think it's something you can work at. Well, maybe. Trying to think, because the way they framed it, it's more like an Alex Jones type, video series. And I know InfoWars has reporters that go out, but it's really mostly an Alex Jones joint. So they could potentially have, different reporters on staff. But I don't think Peter, especially since it was through him that the world found out that Peter was Spider-Man.
That's true. Yeah.
So I don't think he's actually going to work there, but other characters potentially could. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
I don't know. Who cares? It's going to be cool.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if they try the obvious thing in Spider-Man 3 of just having a Skrull kind of be Peter,
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a little cheap, but he could do it.
Yeah, I mean, how else do you think they would try to do it if they don't do that?
I mean, this is kind of obviously leading up to either Kraven the Hunter and or Sinister Six, right? This is just kind of all his villains
I feel like
together to try to take him down.
Yeah, and I'm feeling it's definitely the latter just because of how like the first movie ended, kind of. I know we haven't like heard from anyone else, but
Mm.
like, now that knowing that, because Vulture already knew.
Yeah.
So so people are gonna be, people are gonna be like, oh, this is the propaganda. He's like, no, like, like this is legit, and like,
I feel like you need at least one more movie to establish. I don't really think this universe is ready for Sinister Six quite yet,
that's
because we
true.
only have Vulture, Scorpion, maybe Mysterio, um, and if you include the Sonyverse, Venom, kind of maybe, uh, Morbius, maybe, but that doesn't. I don't know. I feel like you need either a Goblin or Doctor Ock to make the Sinister Six work.
Hmm. Yeah,
And if this movie introduces, Kraven the Hunter, just to have another villain there, and or a Goblin or Doc Ock, and then in Spider-Man 4, they can bring the universes together and Sinister Six happens. I
yeah,
think,
be
unless
interesting.
Vulture maybe could kind of fill that Doctor Ock role, maybe.
That's what I'm thinking because he kind of has a much more prominent presence in this universe than normally. You know?
Yeah, he could maybe even act as like a pseudo Nick Fury in the Sony verse of like, he's in Morbius, and then maybe he'll also show up in Venom 2 and like just kind of get the gang back together. Oh, that could be fun.
Okay, that actually could be interesting. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like an evil Avengers kind of recruiting and like,
Yeah.
yeah, like going through recruiting kind of at the, kind of, yeah, like Nick Fury and Tony Stark in like the first Marvel movie. Whew.
Mm-hmm.
That would actually be interesting. I'm still a little iffy on on the Sony verse
Oh,
kind of
totally.
mixing with Spider-Man, but something like that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Like in that case, because our main issue so far, oh, that actually makes this make so much more sense. The main issue we've had so far with Venom and Morbius and any other future Sony movie is the fact that they have no connection to Spider-Man. They would have no reason to have beef with him. But if Vulture recruits them
Hmm.
and wants to pay them money to like that would it wouldn't be the same, but it would at least be a vehicle for them to want to hunt Spider-Man.
Right. The motivation would have come. See, and this is what I'm talking about. That could be interesting. But now, see, it would be kind of weird going from, well, Venom, which is kind of more violent, even though it's not like RR, but it kind of has a more dark, violent tone.
Mm-hmm.
And Morbius, I feel like, is kind of going to be in that same light to
Yeah,
move that to the MCU. But I mean, if Deadpool's essentially moving, I mean, anything's possible.
yeah, and that's kind of another reason why I think you need at least one more movie to completely set up the Sinister Six, because
Yeah.
next year we're getting Morbius in March, I think, Venom in June, and then Spider-Man got moved to November. So it would be a little weird to have those, because if you don't see either of those two and then go see Spider-Man, there might just not be enough time to really get the general audience on board with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you had one more and then like a couple other maybe Sonyverse movies, and then building into Spider-Man 3 with with all of them coming together to hunt Spider-Man, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot. Actually, yeah, I could see that. I, I don't know. That's the first time I've really looked at that and been like, oh, that actually would be kind of cool if that came together that way. So,
If
all
they
right.
do it like that, which I'm not confident about, but that would at least be something as opposed to Venom just showing up and wanting to kill Spider-Man for no reason.
Right.
Especially since already kind of painting him as an anti-hero, so like that would even give him less motivation to whatever.
Yeah. I'm still not huge on like making straight up villains anti-heroes anymore, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But could be cool. But I'm just excited for Spider-Man 3 regardless
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, if it is like Kraven the Hunter or something like that, which that's how it definitely seems.
Mm-hmm.
But
Because there's been rumor for a while that he's going to get his own movie or be in a Spider-Man movie for like
yeah,
years now. So
Cool.
So one last little bit of Disney news, something that's just kind of wholesome, honestly. So there's going to be this new show on the Star Wars Kids YouTube channel called Jedi Temple Challenge. It's a show about like these I think 5 or so kids who kind of just generally go through these like Star Wars themed obstacle courses with lightsabers and like it's just a very cute looking show that's obviously not for us, but like any kid who's ever dreamed of being in the Star Wars movie, this is you're able to kind of experience it through these kids. So all that is fun and cute, but the reason I'm bringing it up is because it's going to be hosted by Ahmed Best, the guy that played Jar Jar.
Interesting.
Just like as a Jedi, which I think is kind of cool.
Interesting, yeah. Wait, is he going to be playing Jar Jar or just himself?
No, it's just like he is a Jedi. Like
okay.
He's the master who's like kind of
okay, got it.
apprentices to do whatever. Like
okay. Good for him. Can get some positive press for once about Star Wars, because I definitely got the short end of the stick. Him and the likes of who is it? Something
Jake
Lloyd. Jake Lloyd, I think. Young Anakin. Yeah, like they got serious hate for not their fault stuff.
Yeah, like he literally played that character the best he possibly could have. So the fact that like they at least want maybe it is just for a kids show, but like it's still something to just kind of give this white some goodwill, or at least better will in the Star Wars community.
Right.
That's wholesome, I think.
I like that. Yeah, it's actually kind of cool. And also, kids being Jedi is always kind of cool thing.
Yeah.
The youngling.
So, in other nerd news, the Sonic movie is officially getting a sequel.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah, good for it. Which is weird because for a little while there, for like I guess a couple of months, the creators were adamant that they weren't going to make a sequel, but then they just all of a sudden announced that they were going to get a sequel. So they're getting a sequel. Like, they would be dumb for them not to, considering it's currently the second highest grossing movie of the year. Although, anyway, circumstances caused that to happen. But it made money. It was
still counts.
Yeah, it still counts. It was good enough for enough people to see it, even during a pandemic, that they, made some decent money.
Yeah, that's good. Good for video game movies in general.
Yeah, like both Sonic and Detective Pikachu aren't great. They're fine. They're like the main characters are cute and and funny, and supporting cast is at least decent. They're fine. Like they're at least they're not the Mario movie or the Tomb Raider movies or the Resident Evil movies. Like, you could easily do way worse. So the fact that these movies are like 7s, I think is good enough.
Yeah.
So I think it was last time we discussed that Ruby Rose is just not playing Batwoman anymore. Yeah. Apparently for season 2, they're just gonna focus on a different character.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that and I'm kind of just like, huh?
You're just gonna pretend that she never existed? Like, what?
I mean, are they gonna write her out of it? And my thing is like, I mean, okay, so apparently Luke Fox is like the main supporting character, and who is Batwing, right?
Right.
So I was thinking, okay, maybe he just, becomes Batwing, but
that would kind of defeat the purpose of the show existing. It's a very overly girl power show to an extent where it's annoying. So having this other, male character take over, people might be, if anyone cares about Batwoman, people might be upset at that. I don't know.
It was interesting because I saw a post about this, and then I just remember looking in the comments, and a lot of people were like, "Oh no," most people were like, "Just cancel it. Just cancel it. Just cancel it." But more than like one person, but people fight "No, I actually like this show," and I'm just like, okay, but my thing is you can't have a movie without the main. You can't have a show. without the main character.
Have there been multiple different characters that have been Batwoman in the comics?
Apparently, yes.
Even though
I
she's
did not
relatively
think
new?
so.
Okay.
Apparently, see, and this is what I was like digging through the comments. But
Mm.
apparently, everyone, apparently, even Selena Kyle, among others, having one. I know, right? That's what I said. That's what
Okay.
I said. At one point, probably in some one issue, like total, just for one time, just because we can, have been
Elseworld something
Batwoman.
just because,
But
yeah.
I don't think they're going to do that.
Mm.
I honestly think they're just gonna. I feel like they're gonna rename the show and just roll with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just cancel
I
it.
don't know.
Like,
That's
that's
just
my
if
thing.
they're not recasting her to play anyone else to play Kate Kane. They're just picking a new character and going. That's insane.
Yeah, and that's my thing. I'm like, what are you gonna do? Make it? I mean, are they gonna make it Batgirl now? Is like are they just gonna find Barbara Gordon and just have a new pilot?
Maybe, or even keep her Batwoman. I don't.
I, I mean, at this point,
Like Ruby Rose
like,
is a fine actress, but it's not like she's irreplaceable. It's not like Robert Downey Jr. leaving after Age of Ultron, or what, for example, and then just picking a
yeah,
new person to play Iron Man. Like,
yeah, and my thing too is like, when she's in costume, not only does she wear a mask that covers 75 to 80% of her face, a giant wig, so like you can't, you would like
that's not even her hair. You're right.
exactly,
Wow.
exactly. No, it's just, I mean, and like that's how the character works too. But like that's just, the hair's not real. It's a giant mask. You could eat like, and my thing is like, yeah, obviously when she's like in her regular, but you could easily recast her. It's not like and like you said, it's not like it's this iconic, irreplaceable like Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds like owns the character kind of person. Like this was one season on the CW.
Not even on the scale of like Grant Gustin in the Flash. Like if they recasted him in season 7 or whatever of the Flash, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
But there's only one season with an actress who people don't. I mean, some people like her, but like she was already a kind of controversial pick in the first place anyway.
Yeah. And also, it's like it doesn't like my thing is like if you're not gonna cancel the show, like why you're not like. How are you gonna have a Batwoman show, unless you rename and completely change the entire show? You should just cancel the show if you're not gonna recast the main character.
Yeah.
Like, what are you even gonna do? What is she gonna die, and then the story is about her legacy?
Are they gonna do a Roseanne and the Connors and just kill her off screen?
Oof.
Kill her off screen. This is our show now. Like, okay.
Yeah.
It's a better show now, but like it's still weird.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like I mean, and like that's all the best shows. All the shows that have that character, and they kind of either try to recast them or just try to seamlessly replace them. It just doesn't work. Because like
yeah.
2.5 Men comes to mind. Like again, Charlie Sheen, issues, weird dude, but the show was not the same after he left, and like a lot of shows like that, and like. Not that this show is great by any means, in my opinion, but just recap. Like
it's especially hilarious and kind of ironic that this is happening to this show because I remember in all of the advertisements leading up to the show first airing, like the main clip they would show was Kate Kane being like, I built up this, this persona, and then some white guy just came and took it from me. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but that's kind of the gist of it. Like this was my thing, and then some guy just took it over. And now, because she's leaving, it's potentially some other random character just going to come in and
take it over. My thing, I don't know, but my thing is, if they don't make it, like if someone isn't a Bat-themed character, this show should not exist.
Yeah,
straight up. If it's not Batwing or a Batgirl or a Bat something, forget it.
So speaking of potential characters who are going to get recasted, apparently Superman is supposedly going to have a major role in Shazam 2.
I like that idea because like the story arc with like Superman and Shazam versus Black Adam's really cool. That's like when Superman first kind of finds out he's like magic's his like weakness and stuff like that. And I like that because like Superman and Shazam are kind of similar. They kind of have the same vibe, but in different ways,
Mm-hmm.
And if Dwayne Johnson, like that would be interesting,
Yeah.
and it would help Superman seem kind of more lighthearted because Shazam kind of has that lighthearted vibe, and it would make Superman seem more less broody and Man of Steel and
Yeah.
I
Literally
let
the
children
one
die and
kind
all
of
that. I
decent
should have
thing
let
about
children die
Justice
and all that. Like,
the one kind of decent thing
well,
about Justice League was that they tried to make him more lighthearted.
sorry, I was ranting. I didn't realize that you had frozen.
Uh, did you hear what I said about Justice League?
What did you say?
I said like the one kind of decent thing about Justice League was that Superman was a little more lighthearted, after he stopped being
Yeah,
crazy or whatever.
but it was forced so hard though.
Yeah, it was super duper forced.
Oh my gosh!
It's like they
Like,
forgot to make him a symbol of hope, and then when he came back to life, it's like, oh crap, we forgot to make him a symbol of hope. Let's do it. He was always this way.
yeah, just retcon. It's fine. It's fine. It's so not fine.
So part of this rumor is that Henry Cavill will keep playing Superman, but the different rumors I heard kind of compared Henry Cavill in future DC movies kind of similar to how Mark Ruffalo portrays the Hulk. How he's not probably going to get his own movie anytime soon, but he'll play a supporting character in either ensemble or solo movies from here on out, which
that
I think could work.
Yeah, I think that could work too. Especially he's already had his own movie, and he's in.
Kind of too.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, but
BBS is kind of his movie.
yeah. I was kind of like, I mean, is it though? Like,
No.
but yeah, I kind of think that would work. Especially him being Superman, you could always just use that. Well, he's Superman; he can't stick around for a long time trope.
Mhm.
So he has an excuse, but if something's going crazy, he has an excuse to just pop over to where is Shazam? Midway City, or is that someone else? No, that's the Hawks.
Yeah. I can never keep all
Yeah,
those
it's
city names
fiction.
straight. Yeah.
My fictional geography is not what it used to be.
That's why I like Marvel, because it's just New York.
Right. Occasionally Wakanda or that area, but 99% of the time.
So yeah, that especially since Superman is the type of character where if they just existed in every movie, or if they just existed in the universe as a more major player, why is there ever any problem? Marvel kind of gets around this by having Thor constantly go back and forth from Asgard, so he can't just always be around fixing stuff.
Right.
And Hulk has his own issues he has to deal with, so he can't just always be in Iron Man. He's not nearly as ever present as Superman seems to be. But in the DC universe, that's kind of a problem I have with DC Comics as a whole anyway, but especially in these kinds of movies where these universes are supposed to be so interconnected. Why can't Superman just zip over here, take care of it, and zip away?
Right. Which, I remember growing up, I was always think, especially with the Justice League cartoon, I was like, how hard would it be for Superman to just show up, punch a guy, and leave, and then be done with it?
Yep.
But it's also they try, and in the show, and they try to make it, well, obviously Superman's over on this planet right now, or Superman's doing this over here, so they try to make it look busy.
Yeah.
Especially, it was a lot easier when it was less of them.
I really appreciate when either comics or movies or shows, whatever, have it where the entire Justice League is fighting one entity or one entire army, and then Superman is just over there fighting this entire army by himself.
Yeah. You take I'll take this army, you guys, all the rest of you go over here. Or there was the scene in Justice League where they break into cabinets and then 40 guys just jump on Superman while punches by one guy.
Really?
And he just kind of and they all just go flying.
I love that. Yeah.
So OP.
Yeah. And it's not always like completely believable or some like in Captain America Winter Soldier. I adore that movie. But it's always been a little weird that Captain America and Black Widow never thought to go to Bruce Banner or Hawkeye or Iron Man or like especially Hawkeye, who's also either an agent or hired by Shield most of the time. Like he's pretty. It seems like this would affect him too, you know. But no, instead they went to this one guy that Captain America met like the previous day, and like I don't know, it's just
yeah. Yeah, you like trust him with your life, but you've known these other people for years. But
yeah, and they kind of get around that by apparently Iron Man 3, Thor 2, and Captain America Winter Soldier all happen within like hours of each other or something.
Yeah.
Why not?
Which, yeah, I kind of like that idea because that kind of helps out with that. But I don't know, but like I kind of do like how like in Far From Home, like Spider-Man's kind of like, okay, wait, you need me for this? Where's like,
Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, like what?
Yeah, which like, and I kind of like that idea. It's like, you know, off-world or unavailable or doing their own thing, and yeah, and I like that because you know at this point we've got so many heroes. It's like, really, you need just me?
Yeah,
we
that,
just
that
had
seemed to be a criticism
70
of
heroes.
Previous.
Yeah, we just had 40-something heroes walk onto the field against Thanos, but like only I'm available.
Yeah, honestly, like Valkyrie even? No, okay. Because like both Winter Soldier, Thor 2, and Iron Man 3 all theoretically should have been Avengers level threats, but only one of them was necessary, apparently.
Right? Like I don't understand how like that's not.
I don't know.
I mean, I know it's common. Everyone has to have their own specific movie, so it's not going to be the same, but it's still interesting, you know? Like, oh man.
So yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they deal with Superman still just kind of being around in this universe. If they recast him, if Henry Cavill still plays him, if he'll eventually get his own, you know, sequel movie at some point. Well, let's kind of, you know, wait and see. Yeah. So, time to move on to Nerd Clash.
Let's go.
So we just talked about Shazam, and we actually, you know, touched a little bit on Marvel stuff too. So today we're going to be doing Shazam versus Thor.
Ooh.
So obviously, Thor is a monster.
This is true.
Well, but at the same time, Shazam matches with Superman. Not even just because he's magic, because he's Shazam.
Right.
And you know, all like insane speeds, insane strength. Like they both have seemingly equal-ish lightning abilities.
Right. They can't really hurt each other that much with lightning.
Yeah, I honestly believe that Thor might need Stormbreaker or some equivalent weapon to use his powers to actually win, if at all.
I think the property of Stormbreaker, you know, and like the whole like Thor can like wield his weapon would come into play a lot.
Yeah.
But
certainly Stormbreaker doesn't have that aspect because Thanos held it in the game. Unless they just kind of.
Yeah,
they never established that for Stormbreaker.
They didn't. Yeah, that's true.
I kind of wish there was one scene of Thanos trying to pick up, you know, Mjolnir, but then couldn't.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Or maybe he could because in his own way he's worthy.
That would have been no.
The theater. Oh my God! Thanos was right.
That would have been something.
Yeah. Everybody line up.
Because I know we've done Shazam versus, you know, Captain Marvel before, and I think we established that Captain Marvel would probably win that, and we were very wrong. After some further reflection and seeing some new information, Shazam destroys Captain Marvel. It's not even close.
Not even close.
No,
really, it's that bad?
It's just the fact of the matter is the DC universe. 9 times out of 10, the feats that any given DC hero like can do is like at least 5 times that what any given Marvel character can do.
Yeah, I have kind of noticed that.
Like,
Well, yeah.
and also kind of with Captain Marvel, the reason why she is so powerful, especially in the Marvel movies so far, is because she gets her powers from like absorbing energy. That's why she's able to destroy Thanos' shit, was because they all blasted at her and she absorbed it and redirected that into, and like she was able to hold off Thanos because she was absorbing energy from the Infinity Gauntlet. So yes, she would be able to absorb energy from Shazam's lightning, but even in the comics, it's shown that her absorption power does have a limit. And Shazam
It's
is
not.
Shazam. So yeah, Shazam wins that for sure. But Thor, I think, because he is half god, because he's had just, thousands of years of experience,
Right.
it's at least closer.
Yeah, he'll have more knowledge of fighting and more skill because Billy's kind of just, I'm super strong.
Yeah.
Like, but at the same time, he's Shazam. So
Like,
not
essentially,
exactly.
Thor might possibly be able to outspeed Shazam if he's
Really?
holding on to his hammer, flying.
Okay.
But just by himself, Thor
No.
is fast, but not like stupid fast like Shazam
Yeah.
is.
Like on Superman level, just fly around the world. Then.
Yeah. I think Thor might have him beat in general lightning power, but I think the Shazam blast by itself, I think, has like, as far as like one concussive blast, I think has more power to it.
Mm-hmm.
But more consistently, I think Thor would have the upper hand. But hand-to-hand combat, Captain Marvel, yeah, Shazam, I think takes it.
Yeah, especially with the speed too, if that's a big part of it, because like that's huge. I mean, if you're faster than someone and stronger and on the same, or at least on the same level, you can destroy them.
Yeah, and if he is able to actually lift Stormbreaker, if he like disarms him or like takes it from him or something, it's over. If he is able to lift it.
Yeah. Or if Thor just misses and doesn't get it back in time. So
like, also Shazam, just by looking at him, would know everything about him because of the
wisdom of Solomon.
So
he would know how the hammer works. He'd know its weaknesses. He'd know about that depressive state he had after Jane dumped him.
Yeah. So, like, I think Thor would put up a pretty good match. I might even say that it like would be pretty close, all things considered. But the strength feats that Shazam has, especially since he does, he does match with Superman on almost every level.
Yeah.
Like, Superman can move planets just by himself with no problem.
So broken.
Yeah. The only advantage Thor would have is if Shazam misses or like doesn't actually, his Shazam blast isn't as effective as he hopes it would be, and he accidentally turns back into Billy. That's the only outcome where I think Thor would win, if he somehow gets him to turn back into Billy and then kills him before he can turn back.
Yeah. But and that would come from just like a lack of experience, which is Thor's best advantage.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's outmatched.
But even then, doesn't Shazam the Wizard like implant memories into Shazam? So I think he would just kind of know, at least 1,000 years of knowledge from Shazam the Wizard, who gave him his powers.
Right, but I mean, he wouldn't know anything about Thor
Yeah.
specifically, though.
Yeah.
Well, except Wisdom of Solomon. Well, then, Wisdom of Solomon.
Yeah.
That's such a weird. That's such a like broken concept. Like,
I know everything.
I know everything about you. You know why? Because magic.
It's so stupid that Captain Marvel originally was like a parody of Superman, and then DC just bought him off of Marvelous Comics or whatever, and then he just is in this universe, even though he does not fit.
No.
Like, you're Superman, but better, but also not. But because
Not
you
as-
exist in this universe, we have to make Superman better now. So, like,
Yeah. He's the reason Superman's too OP.
yeah.
Because with the magic, he could I mean, it's like he could maybe beat Superman, but also maybe not.
Yeah. Like, their fight in Justice League Unlimited is one of my favorite fights in
Right?
that show. It is. Ooh, it is so good.
They don't play around. Because you can tell at first Superman's not really trying, but then he's like, okay.
Okay, let me show you how it's done. And then, like, in no universe would Thor beat Superman. That's not even a question.
Nah. Like, magic, sure,
You
but
could
like...
try to say that because Thor's lightning is magic, that no.
But it's still Superman.
It's still
Like, you can put him in, you can just laser beam him from across the planet,
Like,
lobotomize.
probably the only thing Superman has over Shazam is I think Superman's more durable. I think.
Hmm? I don't know.
Well,
Is that a thing?
what do the letters stand for? Because it's Wisdom of Solomon, Might of Hercules, Strength of Hercules.
Yeah, Strength of Hercules.
Something
It's
of
no.
Atlas.
It's I think it's Might of Hercules. It's like the stand of Atlas. That's the guy who was like holding the
Yeah.
Earth or whatever.
Okay.
For like a ton of time. It's like Atlas,
Power of
Lightning of Zeus,
What's the
something else, and then Speed of Mercury.
what's the A? Is it?
I forgot the other. Maybe it's like something with Athena. I don't know.
Achilles?
Maybe.
Because they couldn't die unless you shot him in the leg. So
Right.
if he has that ability, then he just can't die. So
Yeah, it is Achilles. Yeah, it is Achilles. It is Achilles. Hold on, let me see what it says. It definitely is on. It's It doesn't say. Ah, it doesn't say. Whoa, gosh. I was loading something up, and then it was like pop up was like right in my face. Let's see. Yeah, Wisdom of Solomon. Strength of Hercules.
Okay.
Stamina of Atlas. Who, yeah, was holding up like the whole world or something
Right.
like that.
It's
The
either
power.
the sky or the world, depending on the mythology.
Yeah. Power of Zeus. Courage of Achilles. Okay, that's what it is.
Okay.
Which I guess that's kind of
And then
interesting.
Speed of Mercury.
Ooh. Apparently, optimism and invulnerability are in part of that.
Sure.
And then speed of Mercury, which is super speed, flight. So pretty broken.
Okay.
Wiz
Comics is the
interdimensional. What?
What?
He has interdimensional travel?
Sure. Why not? The thing that Thor needs Stormbreaker to do, he can just do it. Why not?
Because why not?
Yep.
Okay. Self-sustenance. He does not need to eat, sleep, or breathe, so he can be in space.
So yeah, he's a parody of Superman.
That's... Dude, this is so messed up. Oh my gosh. Yeah, superhuman knowledge, omnilingual. What?
Part of the Wisdom of Solomon.
Hypnosis?
Hypnosis?
Okay, now.
What power
Wait a
gives you
minute.
hypnosis?
No, I don't. Apparently, that's under like Wisdom of Solomon, which I don't know if Solomon was ever able to hypnotize anybody. But dang.
So yeah, basically everything that Thor could possibly think of doing.
Maybe that's a different version. I don't know.
Shazam can just do it.
Goodness gracious. Shazam is extremely OP. But that's comics for you.
Like I said, literally
I love
9
comics.
times out of 10.
So extra.
if there's something that happens in the Marvel universe, it's already happened in the DC universe times 10. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. That's why I love DC, because it's just like the max amount of brokenness for everyone.
There definitely is a certain charm to that.
In a way
like, I fully admit it's ridiculous, and if people don't like that, if it's a turnoff for someone, and they prefer Marvel because of its more grounded nature, I completely understand. But I, for one, love ridiculous powers.
Right? Or like, they're like people always say with Superman, like, oh, Superman's just vanilla. He's got all the powers. I'm like, why is that a bad thing? Like, he's Superman. He's supposed to be awesome. Like, don't
That's
hate.
his whole
Like,
thing. I feel like they
right?
made him a little too awesome, so that way, whenever Justice League events happen, why can't he just show up and stop it? But it's still awesome just to see him work. Like,
right?
yeah.
Like, like I'll never get tired of like a building or something like falling to Earth, and then Superman just kind of like catches it, and he's just like, "Hey, how y'all doing?" Like,
yeah. Although it is, I watched an analysis of Man of Steel recently. I forgot when he's fighting Zod, they go up into space, and then they like, which that's great. Like the main criticism is why didn't Superman try to take Zod out of the city? He did, and then Superman just crashes Zod back down into that one satellite, back into Metropolis. It was like, but you were out. You could have. Okay. Why'd you come back?
It's like, all right, we can still rebuild the city. Is that them?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Yeah, never mind. We can't do anything with that.
So yeah. Anyway, Shazam wins. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be kind of hard to dispute that at this point. Like, Thor's cool, but Shazam is... It's one of those things like with how Deadpool originally was, and still is to an extent, a parody of the ridiculous power sets that mutants have. And then because he existed, Marvel felt the need to like make all their other mutants even more ridiculous, even though Deadpool was parodying that, but they became so much more powerful because of the parody. So it just kind of snowballed into everyone being stupid ridiculous.
Yeah.
Same thing with Shazam. He originally as like a counter or parody thing of Superman, and then it just escalated. Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to bring up or talk about before we go?
A little bit, yeah. Okay. So I remember you were telling me about Milo Murphy's Law.
Yes.
And okay, so I've watched the first like 6 episodes. I've binged the last couple episodes. I want to like the pilot episode. I really like.
Right.
I want to say I really like how it like. I don't because it's really cool because like they don't really explain it as much as you kind of get. They show a lot and don't tell a lot as much. With how like he just kind of has this problem, which I kind of knew from you like his issue, but it was interesting because it's like you get the new kid and then Milo comes up, everyone's like, oh hey, and like you go out of their way to like be apart, and it's like even his friend, and she's just like, oh hey, I'll just stand over here, and he's just like, what's going on?
It's really cool how Milo is still able to make friends, not as many as obviously normal kids would, but like the friends he does have are like just kind of accept this is how he is, and they kind of adapt to it. It's pretty cute.
Yeah, I think that's really cool, and like I love like in the first like when he sees like the like strap or whatever just down on the ground, he's like, what is this come? And Milo just casually puts his helmet. And he's kind of like, what? Like doesn't even question it, just kind of like, oh well, here we go. Like,
yeah.
He's like, why is that? And like no one else. It's like I love how like the whole episode, everyone's calm, no one's freaking out except Zach.
The new
Zach's name, right? Yeah, he's the only one. He's the new. He's the only one freaking out. Milo is not freaking out. All the other kids are just like, oh, we're not seeing him today. It's like, we'll see about that. And like, I don't know, I just love it. But I really like the show. It's smart and like that threes thing, like the comedy threes thing. It's really, it's actually really funny. You were
Mm-hmm.
right. They do that sometimes, and it's
Like it has the same writers as Phineas and Ferb, so like obviously
right,
people know what they're doing.
right, and it's I love it because I love Phineas and Ferb. I love this, and then there's the time travel guys, I guess, which
The
I'm really
pistachio
funny out of
sales.
that,
Yep.
which makes no
I
sense
love it.
at all, but it's great.
I
They're just
love how
around.
this show, because you know you go into the show expecting it to essentially be a spiritual successor of Phineas and Ferb,
Hmm.
and then the first couple episodes are that, but then and like you kind of expect the pistachio salesman to maybe eventually kind of be antagonists or like kind of fill a similar role that Doofenshmirtz did, where like they're doing their own thing, and then whatever happens to Milo affects them too in a negative way, and they might have animosity towards them. But then after a while, it's like that doesn't happen. They then like, how far are you?
I'm only on like the seventh episode, so
Okay,
not too far.
okay, so like that, just like like they probably very shortly after where you are, something's gonna happen, and like the show, it doesn't change, but like your preconceived notions of it just being another Phineas and Ferb show get thrown out the window, and like
Okay.
it's very smart in that way. Like it knows exactly what it is, and then it decides to not be that, and it's great.
It's self-aware
Yeah.
to the point where it's like, no, let's break the norm.
Yeah.
Uh,
I haven't
Clearly.
watched anything past the first season yet because I just kind of fell off the show, but like it's, from what I have seen, it's
Yeah.
very good.
I love that the dog's name is literally DOG.
Right. Right.
No,
I didn't get that at first. It took me actually like seeing the subtitles to realize, oh.
yeah, DOG. Go. I was like, oh, because I was like, oh, that's a cute name. I might name my dog that. And I was so sorry for you. I'll name my dog. You your dog DOG. Oh, I would never even know that. Someone didn't tell me. That was so funny. But no, I really like the show. I'm watching it. I think that's gonna be my next quarantine show so far. I know I only think it has like two or three seasons on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But I'm well much enjoying it. I think all the characters are kind of cool, so I'm around with it.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, the Phineas and Ferb is fantastic because you know exactly what's going to happen every single episode. The same three things happen every episode.
Yep.
And Milo is similar, but like they at least try to vary it up in exactly how bad things happen, exactly what they like. Or I also just appreciate the little nods they have to Phineas and Ferb, but not necessarily, at least as far as the first season goes, it not being Phineas and Ferb. Like have you gotten to the one where the main girl carries the afraid of roller coasters?
Yeah. 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 He's like, I hate roller coasters. Like, it was the first day of summer.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's so good.
Because they can.
Yeah. That wasn't even Milo's doing. That was just.
I love how like. Oh my gosh. I love thinking this is just happening like one like 2 streets down the road. Phineas and Ferb stuff is happening, and they're just not even like. So cool. It's so well written. That's awesome.
And I'm pretty sure in season 2 or 3, Phineas and Ferb actually do show up. I'm curious if they actually canonize, if it is Milo that like more or less caused all like the stuff in Phineas and Ferb to happen, or if it's just coincidence. I kind of hope it's coincidence. That would be. I think making it Milo's fault would be too easy.
Yeah. Because it does kind of have that effect. It kind of has the same vibe as when everything disappears. It's like, of course, the only possible way that could happen would just be to do that. And like, but I just love how like everything goes great. Just like he'll just like talk to someone, and that person will get like hit by a bus or something.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh god. Like, sorry. But like you said, I love how everyone just kind of anyway. I don't know. It's a really cool. It's a really cool message, you know.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, highly. Yeah, but good show. I'm excited to watch more of it.
Yeah.
It's a really good show.
So yeah, is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up?
That was a big thing. Yeah.
Okay. And with that, we will see you all next time.
Take care, guys.